This one, Bart, I'm looking forward to. Chatting a little bit our rivals, and people might debate who are our rivals to start with and whether they have our mentality. Now, as much as we're here to talk about Liverpool, you know full well people will have picked up on all the comments from a certain manager of a team who seem to be deeply attached to a second place in the league, where they sit currently on 10 points there at the Arsenal. And I suppose just before I go into a little bit of individual rivals, that Arsenal City game at the weekend, I thought it was boring as sin.
Yeah, it's a weird one, isn't it? A very strange. Two reasons why I thought it's weird. City typically, in all of Pep's time here, have not got a goal and then sat in.
Yeah.
Like, City literally part the bus. They got a goal, right? Which I thought Haaland. I think Haaland started the season really well, and I think it's okay for us to say that, right? I think he started the season really well.
Yeah.
He made a good run, as he's done in a lot of games. I've seen him. He's been involved with the plays and made the run, and he's got his rewards and he's got the goal, right? But the thing that surprised me was that was quite early on, and then City just went, do you know what? We're just going to sit in here and we're just going to try and ride this out. And if we nick one on the break, we'll nick one on the break. If not, we'll just sit in. Almost baiting Arsenal to not play the way that they've been set up to play, right? It's like saying to Arsenal, right, you want to play 6 centre halves, cool. Well, what we'll do is we'll nick a goal and then we'll play 8 centre halves and see if you can break that down. So it was a real, and that meant it was a really dull game, because Arsenal genuinely, their open play XG is not, I haven't got the exact figures on me, but is poor.
Yeah.
Right. It's even against us, I think 3/4 of their XG, of a 0.5 XG in a game, by the way, was from set plays. So, it's just, they are genuinely, they don't create a lot of XG from open play. They set up to be low risk, and then they rely on quality from set plays to deliver opportunities through Rice and Saka delivering the ball. Some of the issues they've had is they've not had Saka to deliver the ball.
Yeah.
And frankly, that is a big deal, because the guy stepping into currently, they've been mixing it around. This isn't as good. So the ball isn't be good. They're not going to create as much XG. So, I think that the weekend game was dull. I think the thing that I just didn't get, which a bit like, do you remember at Etihad? Arsenal got a draw.
Yeah, last minute City equaliser.
Last minute City equaliser, but Arsenal were like, "Yeah, we've drawn the game."
Yeah,
and I was like, "You're going for the league title," because it was in the running as well. It wasn't anywhere. It wasn't far out. It was like, if you win, if you get 3 points here, this is huge for you winning the title.
Massive.
And they were happy to get a draw and walk away and go, "Yeah, we can still win it from here." And I'm like, no, you were on top. You need to win that game and set a marker down. You're going to win the league title. And that's kind of, it stuck with me at the weekend. I'm like, they were happy they'd got a point.
Oh, yeah.
They got an equaliser and he put a defender on. And I know we're all different, but it's just a mentality I can't get on board with. You know what I mean? It's just not the way. It's not the way our football club runs, is it? Our football club exists to win football matches. Arsenal's at the moment is a low risk, don't want to lose the football match.
Even when you look at this comment as well that he made afterwards there, like, if you can't win it, then don't lose it. We created an unbelievable moment to score, but the overall feeling, because I know how hard it is to do what we've done on the pitch against Manchester City with that level, that coach, I wanted more reward for the team. Well, it's risk reward. And like you said, if you bring on a defender when you've gone 1-1 in the last few minutes or so, and we'll talk about what we wouldn't do and what Arne Slot wouldn't do shortly, but there's that. And at the same time, this is important to say, did you see his press conference after the latest game where he was talking about, like, CEOs were phoning me up, presidents were phoning me up about how well we did against Manchester City? I mean, to me, and I don't know about you, look at that. People couldn't believe what we did to Manchester City. What was that, Bart? Get a draw.
Yeah, I genuinely, I think you end up in a really bad rabbit hole if you end up looking at all the Arteta media, right? Because it's like last season they got beat by PSG, wasn't it? And he tried to say that even PSG said that they deserved to win the game or something. I can't remember what the exact line was, but he was trying to make out that they were the better team. And you were like, you lost the game by 2 goals. You know what I mean? It was just like a really random thing to say. And yeah, I think he's just a bit, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's playing with the Ev too much as a player. He's got a different mentality. He's not one to win the game, but you know, it's weird. It's weird.
Yeah, it does seem like just weird. As it's funny that as Midnight Toker said, the Gooners won 1-1, and they did like you said. They absolutely celebrated it. Like I can't really think of another like a World Cup win, literally at the same time. Absolutely crazy. Whereas, and I think this is important to say because I want to talk about City very shortly as well. You mentioned subs that goes 1-1, and it's Liverpool, it's Anfield, or wherever. Arne Slot's getting Ngamoa, Chiesa, players like that ready, isn't he? Just get them on the pitch. We're just going for it.
Yeah, he will. Slot he's proven he's incredibly good with the subs to manage the situation. And one of the things he'll do, if he can see he can turn 1 point into 3, he will look to overload the attacking area to create that opportunity to do that because he'll back his players. Because he'll say, my players are good enough to keep you penned in and we will create an opportunity to win this game. He'd rather that roll of the dice. And I think he said it numerous times. He'd rather roll the dice to get 3 than preserve 1. And risk losing that as well. So yeah, I think absolutely. I'd much prefer to. And to be fair, Klopp was like that as well.
Yeah,
Klopp,
true.
You remember when Mane got sent off at City really early on? It might be in late, 17, 18 maybe something like that.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Yeah.
And most people would have gone, do you know what? We'll bring a defender on. We'll try and shoot it up. Klopp was like, no, we'll just keep playing. We'll try. We can get something on the break here. And I think we got beat 4-5-0. But he was like, and there was, what are you going to do? You're going to sit in and lose the game, or you're going to try and attack and get something out of it. And I think I come back to it. That is our DNA of our football club. It is, we want to win football matches. We don't want to not lose football matches. So we will always try to make an attacking sub to win the game. And I think that's something we should hold on to. It really should.
Yeah, I do think it just is an exception over the team in second place. And if we're honest, and it's so mental to say this, but the team that currently sits in 9th, as you know, whatever we think of Bernardo Silva, as he said before this Arsenal game, they see us as their main rivals because of history, the trophies, and the way it works. But if we are going to talk about City as rivals, I mean, they're on 7 points. They're 8 points behind us already. They've already lost 2 games, Spurs at home and, you know, the one against Brighton
away.
Yeah. And then even just that sometimes the psychological effect of conceding that last-minute goal, you know, there just seems it's definitely not the same City it was 3 years ago or so, isn't it? There is a little bit of that fragility.
Oh, 100%. They've gone through a mass transition. Right, they are not the team that we battled with to get 90. You know, we lost the league at 98 points and 96 points, whatever it was, 99. They're not that team anymore. They've actually, I think Silva's one of the last relics from the previous side. Stones isn't playing anymore; he's too injured. They changed the whole spine's different part from Rodri and Haaland from the last great City side. So yeah, they're very different team, and they're still. I don't think their recruitment's been that smart as it had been. I think they've got a lot of players that are young. They're really good age profile, but then they've not got the mix in terms of are they ready now to perform. If they all, I'm not sure that'll happen anytime soon. So yeah, it's an interesting one for City. The biggest thing, and I've done prediction shows saying I think City will get more points than Arsenal. And the reason I've said that is they've got to get out of jail free card.
Yeah,
he's already up there, outperforming his metrics from last season. He's scoring goals, he's assisting, right? So there's a lot to be said about that. In the lower class teams, you can just go and lower class. I mean, as in the below 6th place, get the balls high.
Well, I don't know if it's me that's frozen people or Bart's. Fingers crossed. We will get him back any sec. He's coming. We lost him because I know what he was going to say, and it's something that we talked about as well. They have got, as we call it, Haaland. That is a cheat code. There's no two ways about it. But when you ship, as they are at the moment, there have I got you back, Barts?
Think so, mate.
Yeah, there we go. So literally, I was just saying there because I thought he was spot on with that. Haaland cheat code. It is just unique and it is different. You can't deny that. And he started this season like, I don't even know how to describe it, unbelievable. And anyone said he's jumped back, what it is, he's not what he was. I think, we're going to eat our words if we say silly things like that. The smart money's on the golden boot and everything like that. But,
at
the same time, soft centre Bart's in it, conceding goals. It sounds horrible, but I'm not going to say horrible. I don't care about City. Don't get me wrong, but it's just not the same City, is it?
No, it's not. I think that the recruitment means that they haven't got a lot of players that know how to just grind stuff out. I think sliding doors moment here. The weekend, if they win that game, that's one in the bank. They're like, you know what? We can get an goal. We've gone away to Arsenal, who are a top side. I mean, we rain on their parade, but they're a good side, right? We can't get away from that. And they get a result, then you'd be like, oh, geez, they know how to do it now. But they didn't. They conceded a last-minute goal, and they shipped out. So, and I think their midfield is still not settled enough for me to be able to go to top teams and grind it out. Against what I was trying to say from like 6 below, they're good enough, right? And Rivalry 7 or 8 will dominate that midfield with the new lad next to him. They'll run around. They'll get a chance for the guy up front, Haaland, and they'll win the game, right? That they're good enough to do that. But I think the league is now moving towards being about the games against the top sides. And we've already got a notch up because we've beaten Arsenal. And people underplay that, but that's a huge result for us early on. To beat them is a huge result.
It is. It's still, I've never apologized for showing this, but to show 5 W's in a row, 5 from 5, 15 points does look great. And I suppose as well, we're talking about rivals lack our mentality. I've shown you a few tweets there and things that Mikel Arteta said, but even rivals, Bart, isn't it funny seeing the likes of Rio Ferdinand tweeting about Liverpool's added time in the Merseyside derby, but other fans from Everton, Arsenal, we are almost, it's fair to say, because we've come from that era, almost the way it was with Fergie United in the 90s. We're now that team, aren't we? That it's all apparently it's Liverpool. Everything's on our side. We own everything, don't we?
Yeah. Yeah, it's so funny. That Arsenal only get the worst decisions, all those kind of things. And actually, when you look at all the data at the end of the season, both sides finish about the table.
We've lost that transatlantic again. Damn, because I did want to ask you about that, because when he comes back, I will come back to Barts, because I know specifically we talked about, we called it a fear factor in this at the moment. So fingers crossed. Barts, got you. There
Yes,
we
mate.
go. So we're just saying that way as well, almost the fear factor. I know you were just before it lost you starting to talk about the way it has changed for Liverpool. So I'll let you jump on your point again.
Yeah, just saying that. I think the fear factor is exactly there. I think people now are convinced that we own the referees and the rest of it. When it all pans out, it's about the same, you know. And the biggest argument you'll find of the big teams always get the results, get the decisions. Well, one of the reasons for that is they've always got the ball, so it's always going to happen. So if Arsenal feel like they don't get a lot of decisions, well, you might want to look at your possession stats because you don't actually have the ball that much. So, you know, it's sort of like if you're going to be a set piece side, guess what? You're not going to get a lot of open play decisions. So, yeah, I think, but to go back to your caveat there, I do think City have lost a bit of that fear factor because purely just they're in a transition moment. I won't ever say that probably publicly, but they are genuinely trying to rebuild that side with a younger profile. It's just a little bit too young to win the league. Historically, I think they're in about a 22, 23-year-old, which needs to be a slightly older side to win the league. So, yeah, and that shows you in some performances. They're just not quite able to see games out, which is good for us. But you've always got to remember that cheat code up front.
Yeah. And whilst they've got a cheat code up front with maybe a bit of a softer centre, to be fair, it's just funny with what the man in charge of the second place team is saying right now. So, do rivals lack our mentality? Damn right they do, people. Damn right they do.